Hey everybody, Draco here from Gatorbox, and I'm doing something a little bit different with the camera setup and with this. This is kind of, I guess what you might consider a haul video, something, you know, to show off my latest picks, my latest finds, you know, the various places I go. And I figured I could just use what little countertop space I have for that. Yes, that is my sink over there, and it is a red sink. It's a fiberglass sink that I pulled out of a house that we were demoing. I'm like, I really just like this sink and I want it, so I have a red sink. It doesn't match anything else, clearly, but whatever. It's a nice contrast with the Avatar dragon up there. I don't like Avatar either, but I got him at a church rummage sale for $5 because it just so happens I know how to fix like the weird latexy shit that his wings and stuff are made out of, and he's posable and stuff like that. I got $5, man, $5. Church rummage sale. So it's all going towards a good cause anyways. So, you know, I'm not making this video to like flex or anything like that. I guess really I'm making this as potential like bonus, you know, Patreon content and things like that. And also, you know, so that you guys can kind of see a little bit of what your funding goes towards on this channel, because some of the stuff is ostensibly funded from Patreon. It's things we're going to feature on the stream someday. You know, or we'll try them out and turns out it's a bust, you know, who knows. Or some of it, you know, are things that I bought with my own personal money from work. And then you got your Twitch bits and Twitch subs and what little YouTube revenue and stuff we actually do make. So there's money from all the different sources. This is basically cracking open the Gatorbox bank account, and I figured it would be an interesting look into, you know, some of the stuff we pick up. So I'll try to make this quick. I do have a lot of games that I found, but I'll try to make it quick, and I'll try to keep it interesting and maybe tell a couple stories along the way. I guess the first thing I could show off are some NES games that I picked up. I picked up a copy of Barker Bill's Trick Shooting. What's the best way to get that to... I'm still trying to look at the monitor. You can kind of see it way over to the left over there, but I'm trying to get a picture of this. This is a light gun game, obviously, with the zapper, and you shoot, you know, plates and things like that. I really don't own a lot of games for the NES that use the zapper, so I went out looking for some just because I do have a CRT that I would like to make use of someday. And from what I understand, there is a special connector you can buy that will let you use an NES zapper on like a HD TV, like the one way over there in the corner that I use for my monitor. So who knows? You know, I got Barker Bill's Trick Shooting. I've also got a game from Bandai that's literally just called Shooting Range. It's literally just a picture of a zapper and these guys are just shooting stuff. That's literally it. I don't know if Shooting Range became Barker Bill's Trick Shooting. I don't know if it's the same game. Because I'm pretty sure, didn't Bandai make stadium events? And then Nintendo bought that and issued it as World-Class Track Meet. I don't know if this is the same case of that. I've never really heard of Shooting Range before. And then you can't talk about light gun games without talking about The Adventures of Bayou Billy. I fucking hate this game. But somehow, for the longest time, I thought I always owned a copy of it. And I guess because it's so fucking common of a game that I just assumed it was in my collection, but I actually use an app now for keeping track of all the collections I have. It's called Retro Game Collector. Highly recommend it, by the way. Not sponsored content, it's just a really useful app if you collect for a lot of different systems like I do. And you have hundreds of games, literally. It becomes very hard to have a mental Rolodex. So this game uses the zapper for certain parts. There's 3 parts to Bayou Billy. There's a side-scrolling beat-em-up that sucks. There's a Road Blasters ripoff that sucks. And there's a Gotcha ripoff, or Jackal, or... No, Jackal's the Jeep game. Gotcha's the paintball game. Anyways, it sucks. So, this game, when I first got my start writing about video games on the internet and making goofy reviews about shitty games, The Adventures of Bayou Billy was the first game I ever wrote about. So, this one holds a special place in my heart. Plus, it does have crocodiles in it, right there on the art, and you can also kick him in the face in the first stage, and that's not very nice. Then I got a game from NT Vic. It's just called Rockin' Ball. And again, another game I really don't know a whole lot about, but it was relatively cheap, and I figured, you know, I'd take a swing at it. You know, so I got a few NES games. I also picked up some 2600 games, starting first with Hangman. We've played this on the stream before during one of our Atari streams. It is a miserable game where the Hangman actually looks more like a monkey, and I think they did that on purpose so that it wasn't as violent. This is kind of faded. It's not supposed to be cyan. It's actually supposed to be this deep cerulean up here. But as far as copies of Hangman go, I don't have one, and this is in pretty good shape. And that buzzer means dinner's ready. Actually, that was the buzzer I was using to kind of try to expedite and make sure I didn't go too long on the previous take I tried to make of this video. So, whoops. So the next 2600 game I got is Seahawk. Really don't know much about this one. This one looks like a crappy ham-fisted flight simulator, but it is the first game that I've picked up from the company Froggo. From what I understand, they were a third party, and this was released very late into the market because I don't know if it's going to show up too well on camera. I can't tell when it is and isn't in focus. But this mentions that it is compatible with both the 26 and the 7800. The 7800 was named as such because it was compatible with the 2600 and the 5200 games, both. So when they released that, they just added the numbers together and you get 7800. I don't know how many of y'all knew that, but it's one of those stupid did you know gaming facts. This is another one I bought because I really don't have a lot of games from this company. This is Spectravision and this is Gangster Alley. This is for the Atari and Sears video game systems. Sears licensed the ability to manufacture and sell their own 2600s as the Telegames console, which is why you'll see, for example, Combat on the Atari, released by Atari, and then the comparable game, Tank Plus, from Telegames, which is the same shit with a different name. But yeah, I actually think this is only the first or second Spectravision game that I have. So I just picked this one up on just for the sake of collecting, because I like the label. It's in really fantastic shape for its age, and it was a steal. I only paid like $4 for it. So I mean that was, and then the Seahawk game from Froggo. This label's also in great shape. There's like one little stain right here, but this was only like $6 or $7, so that was a pretty good deal. One more Atari game. We've played it before. It is called Squeeze Box. It's basically breakout from all angles, and it's impossible to win because, as you see up here, you got this little artwork of this guy trying to bust out of jail, but the walls keep on like slowly coming in from the sides, and you have to shoot each of the things and kind of you know like break them away. But the walls will start to regenerate and come back in. So it's basically one of those never-ending games where you just see how high of a score you can get. And again, I don't really own too many games from the NES Games company, so I picked up Squeeze Box. Squeeze that box. That's how they make box juice, man. Get with it. Come on. Keep up. Keep up. All right. PlayStation 1 games. I got one of them. All right. Check this one out. Boom. Let's get the glare off of it. Actually, I got more than one. I lied. This is Superstar Dance Club #1 Hits. Alright? I almost feel like I don't need to show you the back, because this looks like a disaster already. That is precisely why I bought it. In fact, I probably should not have flipped it over, because that looks very sus. Multiple game endings. Guys, look at this. There's DDR shit over here. Look at this. DDR and multiple game endings. I guess it's you either win the song or you lose the song. That does count as a multiple game ending. Non-stop, high-energy dancing action. The only kind of dancing you can get just from you clicking buttons on the fucking controller, because it doesn't use arrows like DDR, and I don't think the DDR pad. Actually, no. Didn't the DDR pad have the triangle, circle, X, and square buttons, but they were on like the corners of the pad? So this would, in a sense, be Pump It Up, because that's the game that has them in the X pattern. I don't know, but I got that. That's potential stream fodder if the music doesn't send us to copyright hell. So we got that. Bought a copy of Scrabble for PS1. That's it. Complete in box. Scrabble PS1. Disc is in alright shape. That's Scrabble. Got the manual. The real story here, though, is I just wanna point out how many fucking price stickers are on this. I usually just pull the price stickers off whenever I put these games in my collection, and I clean up the residue with a little bit of Goo Gone, because I get really anal about that. But I left this on here because, by my count, there is at least 6. There's like at least 6 stuck on there. And nobody would get Scrabble until it was $2.99. Complete in box. Or complete in case, or whatever you want to call it. So, I was tempted to try to see if I could lift them up to see what prices are underneath it, but I don't want to damage it. But I will point out that I'm filming this in the middle of October 2020. The way this store has an inventory system, you can see the date right there, and this is from February 13th, 2020. So it sat for 8 months at $3, and I don't think they sell anything for less than that. But it makes me wonder, A, how long was it there? How long between price deductions did we go? And B, what did they try to sell it at first? 20 bucks? 15? 12? I don't know, but somehow we got to 3. And I'm leaving the price tag on that because that tells a story, and it tells a very funny one. I got another PS1 game. This is actually a long box. See if you can guess why they call it that. This one is Criticom from Vic Tokai, and it appears to be a fighting game of some sort. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like too fantastic of a game. 8 exotic personas with unique transformations resulting in a total of 24 different playable characters. That sounds like somebody trying to fudge some numbers right there. A true 3D character control. What the fuck does that even mean? But it is complete. And it's actually so complete that when I bought it, tucked in where the manual goes is this piece of paper from I have no idea how long ago, but it's notebook paper that came with 5 holes punched in it. And so they haven't sold notebook paper like this, at least to my knowledge, for a very long time. But this is written in pretty decent cursive, and this is actually somebody's, I guess their high school schedule. So whoever owned Criticom, their first period for whatever year they had was English, and they had Mrs. Carter. Then they had history with Mr. Brown. Then they had PE with... I like that they put Miss Jones instead of just default, because everyone always just said Mrs. when I was growing up. And technically Miss and Mrs. are different. Mrs. is somebody who was married. Miss is an unmarried woman. So it's very cordial, and it's written in cursive. He kind of fucked up on some of the names down here, but I also think it's weird that after 3 periods, then there's lunch, and then you got periods 4 through 9. I what time did you start school? 10 a.m.? Why is lunch so early? I got one Super Nintendo game, you guys. Boom. Check it out. Rap Jam Volume 1. I left the price sticker from the previous establishment that tried to sell this, because they thought that they could get away with charging $15 for fucking Rat Jam Volume 1. Now, I will say, this is the only video game that I'm aware of where you can play as Queen Latifah. But that doesn't fetch a $15 asking price. I paid way less than $15 for this, but for some reason, the shop, they didn't peel this off. They just put their sticker down here. Well, I guess it makes sense, because you can't really see because you only see the front of it. I don't know. But I finally got a copy of Rap Jam. The label is in decent shape. This is one of the worst games ever made. But like I said, you can play as Queen Latifah if that's your thing. So, whatever. I think Busta Rhymes is in that game too. So, if you want a Rap Jam, I just like that they had the balls to name it Volume 1. They thought that there was going to be a Rap Jam Volume 2. I think if Shaq Fu can get a fucking sequel made in this day and age, we can get another Rap Jam. It's just basketball. Who cares, man? It's just some people shooting some hoops, man. Go for 3. Put it with today's rappers, like Lil Wayne, and Lil Jon, Lil Drake, Lil Tony, whatever they're called. I did get some Japanese games. I got this one for the Mega Drive. It's called Dino Land, and I bought it purely because it has the most adorable fucking label I have ever seen. I love this. All of these characters, with the exception of the very mean-looking Pteranodon up there, they are all very precious, and they all need to be saved. They all need to be cherished and loved. I love all of them equally. They're like Yoshi to me now. They're my new digital family. I picked up, speaking of stupid sports games and things with price tags, picked up this. It's in there's a name for this, blister pack. It's a copy of Tommy Lasorda Baseball for the Sega Genesis. But it's in this weird packaging, right? Like, it's called, like, Games Trader up here. Sega Genesis, previously played video game. And then there's like a default... No, that's an actual sticker. So, wherever this came from, they were asking $9.99 for it first. And then it wound up at a Kmart for $5.99. And then it went to that same video game store that Scrabble came from. And they've got a couple, they had to mark this one down at least twice, I think. And it's $2. So, for $2, for the weird journey that this took. Because this was like way back before buying used games was like a thing. This was like when they were, because I remember the Kmart where I lived had a section in the electronics department where you could buy like used old games. And yeah, I remember that's where I bought Remote Control for NES. I bought it at like a fucking Venture or something like that. Or Kmart. I have no idea. But on the back, it's weird because it says, you know, the company, this is distributed by Games Trader Incorporated, and they're from Ontario. So this is a game that came from Canada, was in a Canadian store, and didn't sell, was bought wholesale by Kmart, and I don't know, it's still in the fucking packaging, so nobody bought it to open it to play, what's this guy's name again? Tommy Lasorda Baseball? Nobody fucking cares about Tommy. Nobody wants to play his baseball game. So this has remained in this packaging forever. Again, there's a story here, just like Scrabble. And I bought this for the story. Like, when I look at this, and I think about the journey it took, and then I notice there's a very terrifying face right there in the background that I don't like. I don't know if you can see it, because there's a glare. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, sweet dreams are made of these. It's just such a weird thing. It even says, right here, it says game instructions inside in really vague font that almost matches the background. But I'm like looking in there, and I don't see like folded up I mean, it's fucking baseball. It's not that hard to get, but I don't think there's actually any instructions in here. Like, it doesn't look like there's anything, because they can't be behind the game, because there's a cutaway to show the Sega logo that this is an authentic cartridge. So how do I fucking play Tommy Salami's baseball? You son of a bitch! Go over there with Scrabble. You guys figure that out yourselves, okay? You guys do that. Finally got me a copy of Flip Nick, which is just a pinball game, but it's actually a very unique pinball game in that it's got really weird tables. It's almost like pinball, but like if like Super Monkey Ball was combined with it, in a sense, where you don't control the ball, you still control the flippers, but you can see you've got all these different weird tables with like the pins that pop up and down, and you got to make like these bank shots and curved shots, and there's aspects. Basically, this is a pinball table that reminds me a lot of like the Nights into Dreams pinball table from Casinopolis in Sonic Adventure, except really flushed out into like its own proper thing. So It says 5 distinctly themed environments. You got biology, metallurgy, optics, geometry, and theology. Guys, you're gonna be playing Jesus fucking Christ is in this game. Says it right there on the back of the box. Play pinball against the world global champion Jesus Christ himself. See if you can beat his score. And if you do, you get the magic. You get the multi ball if you do that. Then I also got this. I got the Muppets Party Cruise. You know, because it's a crappy Mario Party ripoff game, and we're gonna definitely stream this someday because I hate everybody. So we got that. I picked up 2 Game Gear games, only 2, and they are Poker Face Paul. Let's get a good look at Mr. Paul here, the Poker Man himself. Now his name is Poker Face Paul, but he's playing solitaire here. I don't know why that requires a dealer, but I don't care. But I got solitaire and I got gin. The card game, not the drink. So, I've got these 2 games because I also own Poker Face Paul's Blackjack and Poker. This was a series of games released for the Game Gear, and I only recently decided to actually just get them all. Kind of like we did with the Powerpuff Girls games for Game Boy Color. And the reason why I started giving a shit about these games in particular is when I was a kid, I got a copy of Poker Face Paul's Blackjack. I don't even like blackjack. I don't play blackjack. It's whatever. It's not a game I give a shit about. However, I have not sealed. I have a boxed complete copy of Mr. Face Paul's Blackjack because when I was a kid, the Toys R Us started clearancing out their Game Gear games, and they, I saw in the sales sheet or whatever, and that came with the newspaper that. They were, I don't know what they were making room for. Maybe they were getting rid of these because something else was coming out. And basically, the Game Gear games were like half off. For all Game Gear games, half off. And I begged my parents, I was like, please, can we fucking go to Toys R Us? I want to get a game. Because my parents told me, we'll go to Toys R Us next time that we drive through town and whatever, and you can buy a game because they're on sale. And they took so fucking long that by the time we finally got to Toys R Us, everything had been picked through, and all my first choices were gone, all my second choices were gone, my third, my fourth, my fifth, basically everything down to the 20th choice was gone, except Poker fucking Face Paul's Blackjack. And I told my parents I wanted Blackjack because I wanted it on principle, because they told me they would buy me a goddamn game, and damn it, I wasn't leaving that toy store unless I had one. So I bought Poker Face Paul's Blackjack, and it is a competent blackjack game. I really don't care much for it, but I had no idea there was a series. I assumed Poker Face Paul probably had a poker game, hence his name, because his name is not Blackjack Paul Jack, whatever. So I got the poker game, I got my blackjack game from when I was a kid, I got solitaire, I got gin. I didn't realize this was one that they did. I don't know how many different card games Mr. Paul knows how to play, but I've got 4 of them now in my collection, and I'm pretty sure that's probably all 4. I got some Game Boy games. We're gonna go in order from not color to to color compatible to actually meant for the Game Boy Color. Up first, Dead Heat Scramble. Not a very good game. Not a very good game. I actually owned the Japanese version of this long before I owned the English version, or I guess the North American release. There is no language in the game at all to translate, so it's pretty much identical. Quintel, thank you for dropping this off at the video game store. I now own your copy of Dead Heat Scramble. I wonder why you got rid of it. It's not a very good racing game. It's a top-down racer, and you're basically racing in a half-pipe, and that's not as fun as it sounds, because it's miserable. Most of y'all don't know this. Wave Race began its life as a Game Boy game. So when it showed up as Wave Race 64, they didn't just name it Wave Race and then just have a 64. I mean, Pilot Wings 64 had Pilot Wings on the Super Nintendo. There was a predecessor, right? A lot of people don't know that Wave Race actually has a Game Boy release. This is what came before Wave Race 64. I shit you not. And it's a game that plays. I don't know why that's on the back, but that's like a crossed out barcode. That's from, you know what? That's from a different store than the store I bought it from, because their label was like right here. This game plays kind of like Micro Machines for the NES, the one by Codemasters. It's all. I think it's also on Sega Genesis and some of the other hardware at the time. It just takes place on water. It's basically like the boat level from Micro Machines, and that's it. And it's only the boat level, so have fun with that. Then I've got The New Adventures of Mary Kate and Ashley, one of the only games that features both Mary Kate and Ashley, both of the Olsen twins. That's actually not that bad. This is a game that is like a side-scrolling, two-dimensional kind of puzzle platformer game, almost like The Lost Vikings, because you got Mary Kate and Ashley, and I think they have a dog with them, and the dog is like the third Viking, and they each do their own thing, and you have to. Whoop, shit. Well, there goes the Olsen twin. Now it's just one Olsen. I got a copy of Dragon Tales Dragon Wings, because I'm about 30 years too old to give a shit about Dragon Tales, but for some reason I really connected with the characters, and this kind of means a lot to me, so this is just a nostalgic purchase, because looking at this makes me feel happy inside. And I will fucking take any chance I can get to have that feeling. And plus it only cost me $4, so... You ever see that short film More, that claymation one? That's my fucking life, minus the success that the lead character had. Anyways, the other game is NSYNC, get to the show. I'm going to be speedrunning this at DreamHack on October 18th, so I don't know when I'm going to have time to edit this video. That may have already happened. But we're going to get these motherfuckers to their show. Then I've also got some Super Famicom. I know I bought too many, but this is really pretty much it, and there's like a couple other things to go through. I got a copy of Pachinko Parlor 5 for the Super Famicom. Pachinko's not really my thing, but I do think these games are usually very colorful, and they have nice soundtracks and things like that, so I picked it up mostly for the music, and also I respect the fact that, oh wait, actually the translation on the back is, well, it's not a translation, it's just the romanization of it. It's you guys love whenever I try to say things in Japanese. Hyuraku Sanyo Toyamara Parlor, that's on there twice. 5. I don't know how to say 5 in Japanese. It's like Ichi, Ni, San, something. That's like 1, 2, 3. I didn't realize there was a sticky note on the back. But yeah, I just like the colors and the sounds in these. Even if I never really know what the fuck I'm doing, they're just fun. I got that one, and then I also actually got the one that came before it. It's just called Parlor Mini. It's basically the same thing, and there's no helpful things on the back to tell me what this one's actually called. One thing I will say that I do appreciate about the game store that I get my Super Famicom games from is that they don't fucking take a Dremel to the back of the goddamn cartridge so that you can play it on an NTSC system. You either have to have a Super Famicom, which I do, or you can just cut the clips out of the bottom of a normal Super Nintendo from North America, and these will fit in and play without any problem. It's a lot easier to cut the clips on the system than to ruin the casing of the fucking cartridge, and I wish people would stop doing that. Take a hint, everybody. Learn from what these guys are doing. In fact, yeah, none of the games I'm holding have sliced cartridges. They haven't given them the old eBay global shipping department slash and dash. Haven't done it. Shoutouts to DankPods. Next game is Super Wagon Land. He's basically a cute little robot dinosaur. It's a side-scrolling platformer from Namco, and I just think he's an adorable little frog guy, and I've played this game before, and I found this copy didn't cost me a whole lot, so I picked it up. You know, it's just a nice little find. I got that airport simulator game. This is very text heavy. I can't read much or any of it, But this is one of those games that I think, if it's the one I'm thinking of, it's either this or it was on the Sega Genesis. It's one or the other. But it's one of those games where it has, like, an amazing soundtrack, and it was wasted on a game that, like, nobody knows or cares about outside of Japan. Because nobody in North America... I don't even know what this game is called. Because, again, the title's not on the back. So it's this. Just Google this, okay? Type all this into Google, into YouTube, and look for the OST for that. It's one of those games where, like, Pictionary for the NES has that real banger of a soundtrack, and everyone's like, chill out, dude, it's just fucking Pictionary. People who play this game in real life, the board game version, they're nowhere near this excited to play Pictionary. You're managing airplanes, okay? Chill out. Turn off the nice music, or whatever. And then finally, the last Super Famicom game I have is Tiny Toon Adventures Wacky Sports Challenge, which is called Wild and Wacky Sports in the Japanese market. I do not know how big of a thing Tiny Toons was or was not in Japan, but it was a big thing here in the United States when I was younger, and I absolutely loved this cartoon. And I've basically collected, with the exception of the really expensive Game Boy Advance game, I own every single Tiny Toons Adventures game that's ever been released in English in North America. For every console. PS1, NES, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, Buster Bust Loose, the Wacky Sports Challenge or whatever. I've got them all. So now I guess I'm just going to start buying them in Japanese. Because why the hell not? Why the hell not? Why not? I also bought for 50 cents the instruction manual to Zoop for the Game Boy, because the fact this game exists on the Game Boy is hilarious to me, because if you've played Zoop, you know that it is a very color-based game. The colors and the shapes of the pieces help you know it doesn't work when you don't have color. I mean, are there examples, screenshots? Yeah. They basically turned it into shittier clacks. But they released Zoop for fucking everything. And it's a good game. If you're going to play it on the Super NES or on the Sega Genesis. I think the Sega Genesis has the slightly nicer of the two soundtracks. They both have the same music, but the Sega Genesis does it better. So that's one for Sega. Sega does what Nintendo don't. Because this is a fucking travesty. But then again, Zoop on the Sega Game Gear, also not a good game. So when it comes to Zoop on the handhelds, no points on the board for either Nintendo or Sega. But I bought this because I don't own Zoop for the Game Boy, but I just think this is funny to me because this is not a game that a 4-color screen can do any justice. So I just have that. And then I also picked up a few music CDs as well while I was out shopping around at some of these variety stores. I got a copy of Baz Luhrmann's Something for Everybody, which features the song, you could call it, Everybody's Free to Wear Sunscreen. Those of you who know me know that that is probably my favorite song of all time. It's one that I have performed on stream before with some accompanying music. And then without music, whenever I go and do like a casting call or an audition or something like that, I basically do a recital of the entirety of the column that song is taken from. And it's gotten me a couple of roles and a couple of parts and things, but I've never actually owned the album that it came from. So it actually, Baz Luhrmann is a movie director. So on here, he's also involved with like Broadway and theatrical plays. So basically, the track listing is just a bunch of various things from some of his films and some of his plays. But Everybody's Free to Wear Sunscreen isn't from anything in particular. It's just something that he read that he thought was very poignant and that it would make an interesting spoken word song. And I believe it was a Billboard chart topper, so he was right about that. It is fantastic. It's one of those songs that you'll listen to it when you're young, and it won't make any sense. And the older you get, the more times you listen to it, something else in it will make sense to you. Until eventually, by the time you're 70 years old, you'll hear that song and be like, this motherfucker was right about everything. Written by Mary Smish of the Chicago Tribune, who still writes for that paper to this day. And there are not many articles that you can read in their archive for free without a subscription to the Chicago Tribune, but you can still look up. The name of the column is "Advice Like Youth is Often Wasted on the Young." You can Google that, and you can read that article in full on the Chicago Tribune's website for free, without an account, without a subscription, whereas most of the other content is all paywalled, because the column is that important. They made that one free. It's the odd man out. I've also got a copy of Mixed Up by The Cure, which I believe is a collection of kind of remixes and reimaginings of some of their songs that they've done. There's just different mixes of various songs that they've done. You know, Lullaby, Love Song, The Forest, The Caterpillar. But I bought this one specifically because my favorite song by The Cure is Pictures of You. And the best version of Pictures of You is the 8-minute version that's on this album. So I highly recommend you look it up. It's Pictures of You. It just says extended dub mix here on the back. You could type that into Spotify or YouTube or something, or just type in The Cure Pictures of You. And I think most people tend to agree that that's the best version of the song than the original album cut. Because the music video will pop up, which is an interesting music video because it's The Cure. But yeah, most of the results are going to be the 8-minute version of that song. Highly recommend you listen to that. It's a very touching, a very emotional song if you listen to it, like a lot of the things that The Cure produced. So that's Pictures of You was the selling point for that. And then finally, last but not least, from Miss Katie Wolfe, I have a CD. I don't know if that's probably a stage name. See here, down here, got this CD. It's called Wolfe Dreams. And I paid $2, a whole $2 dues for this. This weird, she's like a woman of the forest with wolves, but then this is what she looks like in real life, and she looks exactly the way you would imagine. Okay, when you look at this type of weird Renaissance fair type artwork, you have a picture in your mind of what the type of person behind it would look like. That is absolutely correct. That is what you thought of. This was the card you were thinking of, wasn't it? Was this your card? I don't know. This is clearly an independent production. It says it's from a place called Executive Records is the label. I've never heard of them. So, but I opened it up and read it in the store, and this was recorded, produced by Robert Sprayberry and Katie Wolfe. They both have very bizarre names. So there's keyboards, electronic percussion, meaning that they don't have a real drummer. Or maybe they did, but it's the weird tom-tom drum pad things that are strange. They got some guitars. They got some background vocalists. This picture was from Sedona, Arizona. I didn't realize they had water in Arizona. That blows me away. Layout design by Tandy Wilson. Cover art by S.K. Vicars. I think they did a fantastic job drawing wolves and a woman laying with a bunch of them. But I didn't really open this. Actually, I'll probably do this real quick right now. But there's the CD is just the same label applied to the thing. But what really sold me is when I was looking at this, in between the special thanks, if I can show this off, it says, man, I don't know if that's focused or not. There we go. Thank you for making my Wolfe dreams a reality. Wolfe dreams do come true. And now I have to see what this insert actually looks like. I have to know. It's beckoning to me. I can hear the awoo from here. The alluring awoo of the Wolfe dreams. Is it just, don't tell me it's just the lyrics. No! I want to see some more wolves! Well, my Wolfe dreams didn't come true, goddammit. But anyways, I haven't listened to this album yet. I would have had plenty of time to listen to it on the ride home, but the CD player in my truck doesn't work. I mean, it does, but the eject button doesn't work. The mechanism's broken, so whatever CD you put in there, you better damn well like listening to it, because you're never going to get it out. So I'm not sure if I wanted to commit to putting Wolf Dreams inside the CD player and only being able to listen to that. Hopefully it's better than that cassette tape that was only just sounds of wolves just over and over and over again. But yeah, this is my entire haul. And you guys are not going to believe this, but all in all, I really only spent a little under $100 for all of this. Like, all of this. So I think the most expensive thing here was Criticom, the PS1 long box game. No, I'm sorry. It was this. I spent $15 on the Tiny Toons game, and then $10 on Criticom. So that's a quarter of it right there. The rest of this was like less than $75. So I know how to find a bargain, and it's mostly because I buy games that suck that nobody cares about, and I buy CDs of people singing about wolves, I guess. So, you know, things that are not necessarily in what you would call high demand. So, yeah, I figured this was just a trial run. This video is probably going to be way longer than it needs to be, and you know, I'm sorry, but you guys know I love to talk and show off, and I've got a story for everything that's here. Like, that's just how I am. And I know that's why you guys support me, because you find my ramblings and insights and random memories of things and my experiences, that you find it interesting. And there's that weird twist of humor in there as well that also keeps you coming back. You know, were you expecting Wolf Dreams to close out this video? Because you probably weren't. So, were you expecting a baseball game that I bought for $2 that came from Canada that they tried to charge $9 for, that wound up at Kmart for $5.99, and then it got sent to some other place, then it was $2? Bet you weren't expecting to see that. But yeah, this is I guess haul video number 1, and if this is something that y'all want to see more of, I can't really give you a schedule for when I do these things, but whenever I go out on my excursions, and if I'm fortunate enough to be able to, you know, go to some stores and go to some used media shops and things like that, I would love to, you know, share some more of these stories and memories with you. Maybe sometimes I'll buy more music than I'll have video games. Or, you know, vice versa. Obviously, there's a lot of games here. Maybe sometimes I'll find comic books, or I'll find action figures and toys and things like that, you know? So you never quite know. But I figured this was a good trial run for something, just to kind of give some incentive toward the Patreon page, and also to thank everybody who has and is supporting the channel on Patreon. I really do appreciate it. I know I'm not sure if I say it enough, or if I say it too much, or if I say it but I don't mean it. So hopefully by making this video for you guys, you know, it means something to you, so that you can literally see, like, where your money is going. It's going into copies of fucking Japanese airport simulators, Zoop manuals, and songs about wolves, okay? And 3 different light gun games for the NES. Mary Kate and Ashley. It's going into crap, okay? It's going into crap. But I'm Draco, and I really do appreciate y'all's ongoing support. It means a lot. Tell your friends, tell your friends' friends, have them tell 2 friends, and they'll tell 2 friends. Then by the time you know it, you got yourself a pyramid scheme going on, baby. But yeah, no, I really appreciate y'all's pledges and y'all's support. It means a tremendous amount to me. So hopefully, you know, maybe the allure of a video like this, I'm gonna make this available to everybody who's does at least $1. You know, just something like that. So maybe the allure of this will get some more support that way. And it's not really about the money. I mean, obviously, I'm not. I am spending the money on things that are not just, you know, the electrical bill. That's what my job is for, and things like that. But I figured you guys would probably like to see where your money is going when it comes to, you know, this channel, instead of it just kind of being a nebulous, oh, this game we bought this with Patreon money, or, you know, blah, 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 blah. So that if you've seen this video and you support us on Patreon, and then it turns out that we decide to stream, for some stupid reason, Rap Jam Volume 1, you'll be like, man, I remember when Draco bought that. He put it on the thing. He put it on it was on that video. But you know what is in y'all's future is this Bumpet Party Cruise. I tell you what. better get ready for that. You know, this album's called something for everybody. This right here, everything for nobody. So we got that. Anyways, I'm cutting the video here. It's gone on way too long. Thank you for your support. I love you guys. God bless. I'll see you in the next one, and I'll see you on the stream. Same Gatorbox time, same Gatorbox place. Friday nights at 9 o'clock on Twitch Central Time. Hey, thanks for checking out Gatorbox on YouTube. We really appreciate it. If you like what you saw and you want to kick around with us live, follow us on Twitch because we do this several times during the week. And if you want to support this channel, you can do so by subscribing right here on YouTube, following or subscribing over on Twitch, or even making a pledge on Patreon. Your support over the years has been tremendous. Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video right here on Gatorbox.